I wanted to do a video about my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch 2. And for comparison's sake, for reference sake, I have my phone nearby with the GameStop app. So let's look at the console first. Let's talk about the console. Go into the GameStop app. The console by itself is $449.99 plus tax. The original Switch was $300, $299.99. I would argue that the upgraded storage alone is worth the upgraded price. This has 8 gigabytes of onboard storage. Switch 2 has 256 gigabytes of onboard storage. Now we don't get all of that due to the software. But I would argue that that price alone, that upgrade alone, is worth it. Add in the USB-C port at the top, the microphone, the game chat feature, the upgraded Joy-Cons, check volume. I think that price is worth it alone for the upgrade storage, plus everything I mentioned, plus the brighter screen without being an OLED. I believe the battery life on the Switch 2 is worse than the original Switch. And this is not a launch edition, but a launch year Switch. So the battery life on this is going down due to age. So I can see the complaints for that, the worse battery life, but I don't necessarily agree with that. In terms of, you shouldn't be staring at the screen for 8 hours a day, something that we all, including myself, have an issue with. Don't say you don't have that issue, we all have that issue. And if it's docked 99% of the time, why does it matter? My big issue with the Switch 2 is, for Christmas, I asked Santa for a 1 terabyte SD card, which I did get. That's another issue that is an issue, but I don't care. That is the Snorlax 1 terabyte SD card. And as you can see, my Joy-Cons have an issue of attaching and deattaching. Just a whole nother topic. So that's my main issue with the Switch 2. The fact that I tried planning ahead and that backfired on me. That SD card in there won't work with the Switch 2 because it doesn't have the Express technology. So that stinks. I have to buy a new SD card. But other than that, I don't see an issue with the Switch 2. The price hurts, yes. We're going to talk about something at the end of the video. The price can hurt if you don't think about it. But if you do take a step back and think about it, the price works. It does have its drawbacks. Like I said, the price, the SD card being another drawback. But at the end of the day, I don't see an issue with the price. I originally was hoping of talking to Red Bandana Gaming on the Ready to Stop podcast, plus I sometimes talk to him on Instagram. I thought this was going to be a DS to the DSi, where it's an optional upgrade. But no, it appears to be a DS to the 3DS upgrade, where you don't need it day one, example would be Pokemon Legends ZA, back with Black 2, White 2, that had optional upgrades in the 3DS, but you could still play it on the original launch day DS. So I was hoping there was going to be a DSi situation, but that's not it. This is a 3DS, a DS to the 3DS situation by the looks of it, where you don't need it day one, but if you do get it day one, there is a perk to it. So I think the system is fine. I have no issue with the system. The price can be an issue, but I plan on asking for that for Christmas or my birthday or something. So I have no qualms with the system, other than the battery life, which is open for debate, and the SD card. On to the games. Onto the games, I think that is another issue on its own. So, Mario Kart is $90 after tax. By God, keep that in mind, after tax. This isn't gonna give me the games, is it? No, it is not. So, I need to double check this. Donkey Kong is... Load for me. Come on, come on. So Donkey Kong Bonanza is $69.99. Mario Kart World is $89.99. And to give you all something to look at, you just play around with this, I guess. Look at the games I got. How about that? So, Nintendo isn't going to have a set price. Majority of the first-party games for the Switch were $59.99. Tears of the Kingdom brought it up to $69.99. It appears Nintendo will... This could obviously change in the future. But at the moment, it appears they're fluctuating on what the game is worth to them in the price tag. And yes, Nintendo games don't go on sale, blah, 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 blah. So, does it stink that Mario Kart World is $89.99? 100% yes. But looking at, depending on where you live, a roughly $90 video game after tax. Before tax, $89.99. No, sit. Let me double check this. This is why I got the GameStop app open. Mario Kart World. $79.99 for physical. So, does it stink that the game is going to be $80? 100% yes. Does it stink that it's going to be roughly, to make it safe for the whole area, for the whole world, roughly, whole world, whole country, roughly $90? Yes, yes it does. To that end, we don't know what is going to be on the game. We know that's an open world, where you just continue. There's no pausing, going to the next race. But we don't know what other content there is. Will all of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC be included on World at launch? Similar to what they did for 8 to 8 Deluxe, from Wii U to Switch. Will that all be on the cart at launch? Or no? Because if so, if all that 8 Deluxe DLC is on World in some form or fashion, I would argue that's a good price. If not, then yeah, this is a bad price. But they can also come back in the future and say, 4 waves of DLC. 2 are 100% free to everyone. The other 2 are early releases to NSO members. And the rest, these 2 are paid for, I guess, as an example. I'm just trying to... I am playing devil's advocate. I am well aware of that. I'm just trying to calm the nerves in a way. And also, we do have a... Let me check the Nintendo Today app. I believe we do have a Mario Kart World. Direct. April 17th, we have a Mario Kart World Direct. So there is a small chance that they could come back and say, this is why we think this is why we think $79.99 is a good price for this. You may not agree with that. I may not agree with that. But is everyone, aside from Red Bandana Gaming, is everyone going to buy every single game on launch day? I don't. I don't plan on doing that. I plan on asking for a Switch 2 for Christmas or my birthday. And all my Switch games will go on the Switch 2. And once I'm done transferring, I might I might trade this into GameStop. I don't know. So as you can see, I have a backlog. Do I think Mario Kart World is overpriced? Yes. Do I think that could change in the future after the Direct? Yes. It is good that they don't have a set price point for all their games. So Donkey Kong is $69.99. I believe Kirby is that price too. Mario Kart is $79.99. And there are upgrades to Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which is paid for. I'm an NSO member, so I get Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom for free. Other than that, those are paid for. And if I had to hazard a guess, which I'm not a fan of, which can change, like I said, Pokemon Legends Z to A could be $79.99. They might just be doing that price with the Tentpole franchises, Tentpole games. So Gen 10, $79.99. Splatoon 4, $79.99. That's very open for debate, and that could very well change per game. They might justify the Mario Kart World price in that Direct. They might not. They might give us DLC in the future, which will justify that price. They may not. In terms of... This is Chapter 3, I guess. The rumors... Well, no. Chapter 2.5 for now. I guess there were rumors or misinformation that digitally the games are cheaper than buying physically. Nintendo technically can't do that because that would destroy the relationships with the retailers. Hasbro can't do that either, as an example. This was something I was telling Red Bandana Game about when he made his first video about the Switch 2. Hasbro has Transformers in Walmart as an easy gift option. But everybody buys their Transformers online on Amazon or Hasbro Pulse or Walmart.com. Because of the pandemic, because kids don't buy Transformers. They don't want Transformers. It's an adult collector thing now. So But Hasbro still has Transformers in Walmart for an easy gift option for the exclusives, like the Cybertron Speedia 500 line a couple of years ago. And for the Play School toys, if those are still a thing. So Nintendo can't say Mario Kart World digitally is cheaper than the physical version, aside from that Switch 2 bundle, because they have to or want to keep good relations with Walmart, Target, Meijer, Best Buy, GameStop. That can also be changed in the future as well. Just ask Xbox and Sony. I'm not an Xbox fan, I'm not a Sony fan, I am a Nintendo fanboy. But I do watch Red Bandana Gaming, so I do have some Xbox knowledge. Hey, boy. And Xbox is trying to leave the physical market. On to chapter 3, and this is the touchy subject one. I am not a political head. I have my political thoughts. I will not mention them here because I don't have to. It's my personal thoughts. Will the tariffs affect the Switch 2? I have no idea. I don't follow I don't follow politics. I'm not a political no-to. There's a chance they would affect it. From what I've been told, other countries charge America for our imports. So we are now charging more on their imports, which is video games, toys, cars. And cars, President Trump wants to bring that manufacturing back to America. Again, I don't follow this. I don't know everything. I do my voting every 4 years, and I say, shut the fuck up, leave me alone. Don't bring politics into video games. So that is going to increase video game prices by the looks of it, if I'm reading things correctly, but I don't know. Change the scenery. So I don't know what will happen with video games with the Switch 2. In the Switch 2 itself, the price may very well go up because of President Trump. Sorry about that, my cat was destroying the furniture. So yeah, keep politics out of video games ultimately. But in this case, I don't follow politics, so I don't know how affected the Switch and the Switch 2 in the video games will be. If they are affected and the prices do go up, that stinks. But everything else is going up, unfortunately. Supposedly, Japan is getting a region-locked Nintendo Switch, and the price is cheaper in terms of yen. I wouldn't mind that, but I also would mind, because this is a Japanese video game. Kamen Rider Memory of Heroes. So I am not a fan of that. I would get the region-free one, but that's a me problem. So that's a touchy subject. And I don't know where video games go from here, where the toy market goes from here. There are other experts out there, people who are more politically sound, politically aware than me. Like I said, I pay attention every 4 years. I do my voting. Shut up, leave me alone. And that's really my thoughts on the Switch 2 as a whole. So Chapter 1, the price for the console is fine. I don't have an issue with that. The features are fine, the features are great. It does make the Switch, the original Switch, look like a prototype in a way, considering the Wii U had a camera and voice chat. Chapter 2, the game prices are open for debate. They seem to be on a game-by-game basis, not as a whole, which I think is good. You just have to justify the price for that game. In Chapter 3, the touchy one, politics, that may or may not affect video games in the toy market. I guess that concludes this video. I don't see any other topics I have to cover. I'm sure I'll think of something. I guess the epilogue would be... Oh yeah, the epilogue. I can talk about this. Nintendo Today app. Do I have personal information shown on the Nintendo Today app? I don't believe I do. There's Peach. Enjoy your day. The 3D view of the Joy-Con. So the epilogue would be, I like the idea of a Nintendo News app. When I was watching the Switch 2 Direct, I was watching the video on the Switch 2 in the Nintendo Today app. Every time I would close the app, the video would pause. I was actually talking to a friend on Discord, and that video, he was relaying the information to me because I was out and about that day. So this needs a mini player. Nintendo Today needs a mini player to sort of keep in line with YouTube, I guess. I want to support the Nintendo Today app, but YouTube is more convenient, if that makes sense, with the mini player. And as for all the other apps, why do we have like 4 different apps? Main Nintendo Switch app, parental controls, Nintendo Music, Nintendo Today. Just merge them all into one. I don't get why we have 4 different apps. I would like to see that merged into one. These apps make sense because they're different consoles. N64, NSO, with Game Boy Advance. That makes sense to have different apps. On a smartphone, I don't understand it other than to be Nintendo in a way. Creative, but stupid. Just merge them all into one. Polymerization. So, Chapter 1, the console. I think that's a good price. It hurts at first, but when you logically think about it, it makes sense. The video games, being Chapter 2, the price hurts, dependent on the game, and they can justify it, but they might not be able to. Chapter 3, the tariffs might affect it, I don't know. The epilogue, one app. Come on, Nintendo. One app. And I think that does it for this. Get the ending shot. And that's it for this one.